Episode 384. Seeing the 10th server team crush the Herb Hall squad, Jiang Yu leaped up and slapped a high five with the person next to him.
Satisfied, the dungeon run was a complete success.
Nightchill sent in his report at that moment.
I can see that.
Jiang Yu replied with a smile. He'd written the guide himself, so he knew exactly what kind of results to expect. At this point, we've done everything we can. Any further improvement will just come down to luck, measured in seconds. In short, a major across-the-board improvement is unlikely to happen.
The only question is, what about Yeqiu?
Nightfrost Pond, however, wasn't as excited as Jiang Yu.
Dungeons are static, no matter how strong UQ is. His abilities are limited by a dead environment.
Jiang Yu's guide was a labor of love, clearly brimming with far more confidence than Nightfall cold pools. The guild leader's words made perfect sense. How could he possibly argue back, saying something like, "What if your guide has flaws, while UQ's is guaranteed to be perfect?" So, Cold Night crossing the pond had no choice but to continue watching with a sense of unease. He wanted to send a message to Yeqiu and ask, but he also hated the idea of showing weakness in front of others. Even though it was the great Yeqiu, the members of Tyrannical Ambition simply refused to bow their heads before this legend. The time was now 12:50 a.m. 10 more minutes had passed since Tyrannical Ambition set their new record. The world was all talk, but no new record was being set. It took EXU and the other two 50 minutes to finally clear their first run of the dungeon. Without a word, they immediately started the second. They hadn't been in there long before the clock struck 1. Yeshu began to watch the message channel. If a second dungeon record was going to appear, it should be about time. Sure enough, a system message soon flashed across the screen. A new record had been set for Sin City. The guild that set the new record was Misty Rain, with a time of 29 minutes, 33 seconds, and 46 milliseconds. They only beat Tyrannical Ambition's record by a mere 1 second and 25 milliseconds. This narrow margin clearly shows that Misty Rain's strategy and execution are almost identical to Tyrannical Ambition's. When the same tactics are pushed to their absolute limit, the results are bound to be incredibly close. But these differences of mere seconds, they could come down to a single skill, a single step. Any tiny, almost imperceptible detail could be the cause. It's impossible to say and impossible to control. This kind of breakthrough isn't as stunning as shaving off over 2 minutes, but it's far more infuriating, because to shave off that 1.25 seconds, you have no idea what you can do. All you can do is focus, focus and focus again. Only at the very last moment might you manage to shave off a fraction and snatch the lead. But while it was infuriating, this kind of competition was already par for the course for the top players in the major guilds. When dungeon record competition reaches a certain level, it's all about clawing for every single second. Seeing Misty Rain's score, Jiang Yu felt no disappointment. Instead, he cheerfully sent a message to Night Howl.
See, I knew it. His guide is nothing special.
This he, of course, was referring to Yeqiu. Misty Rain Pavilion had bought a strategy guide to set their last record, so Jiang Yu naturally assumed they'd done the same this time. He never imagined they'd gone the route of independent R&D, just like his own guild.
Keep up the good work.
Jiang Yu rallied the comrades of the 10th server. He thought about how Misty Rain had to spend a pile of materials to buy a guide, just to post a score like that, while their own Tyrannical Ambition had done it all on their own. The difference was clear as day. Jiang Yu had failed to consider too many things. He hadn't realized that Misty Rain's strategy was also self-developed. In that regard, the two guilds were actually the same. The difference was that after learning Lord Grimm's true identity, Tyrannical Ambition was extremely reluctant to show weakness in front of him. Misty Rain, however, had no such reservations. Although he had politely declined Lord Grimm's offer to sell the dungeon guide earlier, the moment the new record was set, the Misty Rain guild leader, Misty Rain Kang Kang, wasted no time in sending Lord Grimm a message.
So, how's that for a new record?
Not bad.
Well, what would happen if we used your guide?
It'll be higher than that.
Really?
Misty Rain Kang Kang also sent a goofy emoji. He clearly suspected Yeqiu was bluffing him, but using that expression helped ease the tension a bit.
It's true.
Yeqiu's reply came with a sunglasses emoji, playing it cool. Whether Misty Rain believed him or not was up to her.
So who ended up buying your guide?
Misty Rain had good reason to be skeptical. If there really was a better strategy out there, Why hadn't a new dungeon record appeared after 2 full runs? But before Yeq could reply, a highly persuasive system message flashed onto the screen. Congratulations to the Bluebrook Guild for setting a new record for the fastest dungeon clear, with a time of 28 minutes. Almost simultaneously, Yisu received a message. It was from Blue River, and it contained just 2 words.
Oh, you believe me now?
I'm convinced. The price isn't enough. We can add a bit more.
Blue River even offered to pay more. Sneering, the guide was already much cheaper than hiring someone to clear the dungeon. Even after doubling the price, the buyout cost was well within Blue River's budget. He was even willing to add a bit more, which showed just how completely convinced he was by the guide's value.
That won't be necessary. We'll just go with the one I sent you this afternoon.
No problem. I'll get the materials to you as soon as possible.
All right, he closed the chat window with Blue River, but new messages were still coming in. Flipping to them, it was Misty Rain.
Is it Bluebrook Guild? Your strategy really is a bit more ruthless than ours. What's the price this time? You name it. Hey, where'd he go? Where is everyone?
Over at Misty Rain, the phone was ringing off the hook.
The guides are all sold out.
Sold out? How could this possibly be sold out?
Misty Rain replied instantly, but the moment he did, he realized his own mistake.
Bluebrook Guild bought it out for a high price? I once had a strategy guide right in front of me, but I didn't cherish it.
Misty Rain fled in tears. As for tyrannical ambition, Yishu's current feelings were no different. But he was in a position to actually cherish the opportunity. But guild leader Zhang Yu insisted on competing with the great UQ, neglecting his duties in the heavenly domain to spend all his time loitering around the 10th server. The moment Bluebrook Guild set this new record, Yaiduo Han Tan knew he was in trouble. They'd already turned down the guide UQ offered to sell them. Now, for the sake of a record, were they supposed to go crawling back to him and beg to buy it? They didn't want to bow their heads before Yiq. Yet time and again, they found themselves having to do just that. What made it worse was that Zhang Yu was the one who caused this mess, but Yedu Han Tan was the one who had to go and eat humble pie. Yedu Han Tan was thoroughly miserable. Right now, he actually wished the guild leader would stay stubborn and refuse to go find Yiq. That way, he wouldn't have to go and lose face again.